Marquis, stop!
All right, San Diego Comic-Con cosplayers, are you ready? Let's go! San Diego Comic-Con cosplayers. How's everybody doing out there today? First of all, just want to say thank you for anybody that is here. We appreciate you guys all. This is our first time being at San Diego Comic-Con. My name is Oscar. I am a Kung Fu instructor. I am also your co-moderator for this panel. And so this is our first time here. We're super excited to be here. And so our panel in this short time, we're going to spend some time going over and showing you all of our Kung Fu secrets, all right? So you can be legit with your weaponry. And if you don't have weapons out there, we will show you the five-finger death punch or the death touch. It depends on how much time we have, okay? Our panel consists of a Kung Fu master, a Hollywood stunt pro, and later to help show you some cool-ass moves, we recruited our Wallum Kung Fu demo team. But first, let me introduce you to our panel. Our first panelist was the model and the martial arts video reference for Disney's Mulan. She has been a stunt performer in Hollywood. She's also a Kung Fu master. She runs the Wallum Kung Fu system. So let's welcome Mimi Chan. Mimi Chan and Right. All right, and our second panelist has appeared in over 40 feature films, more than 170 episodes of television. He's stunt double for Johnny Depp, Matt Damon, Keith Sutherland, and more. He is also a badass martial artist. So let's welcome Christopher Leps. So I'm just going to start off by kind of introducing you to them and asking them a few questions. Mimi, a lot of times we run into Disney fans, right? And they're often curious about your Mulan connection. So what does martial arts video reference mean? Is that?
Yes, well, first of all, I am so excited to be here. Thank you for showing up today. I really appreciate it. Basically, back in the 90s, when Mulan was animated, the martial arts video reference actually refers to when I had to do the actual movements that Mulan did. So there was no motion capture, there wasn't any digital things happening. I basically did all the scenes that you saw with the I'll Make a Man Out of You, the rooftop fight, any of the action sequences. I filmed it as if it were a film. So we did a live action sequence, they videotaped it. I know, I'm aging myself here. And basically Mark Henn, who is the amazing lead animator for a lot of princesses you may know, like Mulan, Ariel, Belle, Jasmine, if you've ever heard of them. He's who I worked with. And basically he would use that footage and watch it over and over for reference so that he could do the live action animation for the movie Mulan.
Super cool. Okay, so now, this is a question that I always wonder too, is how did Disney find you exactly?
Well, I am in Orlando, Florida, and of course there was this place there called Disney World. I don't know don't know if you've ever heard of it. But at the time, they had a wonderful animation studios there. And I also am an instructor at the Wallam Kung Fu Temple in Orlando, where we teach Kung Fu and Tai Chi, and we do lion and dragon dancing. And so it's a big cultural school where we do all sorts of shows. And we've been doing shows since we've been there in 1980. And we actually opened the Epcot Pavilion, China's pavilion, in 1982 by doing dragon and lion dancing for them. So we have a very long-standing relationship with Disney. And when they were doing the movie, they wanted the animation team to get just all of the cultural aspects of China and to have some authenticity. So they actually hired us to come in and teach the animation team some Tai Chi so they could get a taste of the culture, but also so that they could be more relaxed and just kind of see some of the movements. And while I was there, Mark was still looking for his inspiration for Mulan. And I happened to be at the right place at the right time. I walked in and he basically, I was introduced to him and he loved the fact that at the time, I was about the same age as Mulan. I did Kung Fu. My father was a Kung Fu master. You know, her father did Kung Fu, and I think he just liked the whole tradition of everything, just kind of connecting. And so from there, he chose me to be the model, and I went in and I did different animation sessions where I did still posing, but also, as you know from earlier, the martial arts video reference.
So this is last question for you for right now, Mimi, is, as we mentioned, this is our first time here. This panel is actually your brainchild, so if you can explain why you decided to do this panel.
Okay, well, first of all, this is my first time at San Diego Comic-Con also, so it's kind of amazing to be here. So it's been an amazing experience, and everyone has been so welcoming. And I actually was introduced to the con scene in 2015 when I was invited to discuss my Mulan experience at MomoCon in Atlanta. And I saw the most cosplayers I've ever seen in my life. I actually wasn't really familiar with the culture, and I totally fell in love with it. I love cosplayers. You guys are awesome. You are the rock stars of all conventions. And so I totally fell in love. I saw cosplay, everyone on the exhibits, and then I went to the masquerade, which is a contest, and I saw these cool characters with swords. I saw this Darth Maul with his lightsaber, and he was pretty much resting it on his shoulder, which would totally cut his arm off, and I was like, I can help you! You need to be doing something cool with your sword! And I thought, this would be so great. Mulan, if you want to learn some sword work from Mulan, I'm happy to help, but I thought it would be really good to connect with cosplayers. I'm just getting my introduction to cosplay. The first cosplay I ever did was actually Comfy Mulan from Wreck-It Ralph. It was a little bit of I guess not really fair because I'm kind of cosplaying myself, but I can't sew, so I need some help. But I loved it, and I thought it would be just such a great connection to use my martial arts skill set to really kind of help you all bring your authenticity to the next level, because you go so detailed from every stitch and button and the effort and the craftsmanship. You are all masters of that, and I thought, well, you're going to go all the way. You might as well take it to the next level and be able to really pose with your weaponry for those photos that you take, and just to be more in character.
Very true. We've seen some amazing cosplayers. So, okay, so now I actually have a question for Christopher, and I know you've dealt with a lot of iconic characters. And this may be tough to narrow down, but maybe you could think about, who's the first to come to mind?
Oh gosh. Well, rewinding the clock, the very first, I got my SAG card on the Mortal Kombat TV series, so the very first time I was the main gymnastics double for all the characters on the show, all the male characters. And I have to admit, the first time I put on the Scorpion costume, I kind of geeked out. I was like, this is it, this is the real thing. And then I had the opportunity to double Christopher Lambert on Highlander 4. 4 was sort of treated as the sequel to 1. The studios kind of wanted to forget 2 and 3, as a lot of us did. And it was really cool because I got to wear the Connor McLeod trench coat, and I got to use the Connor McLeod samurai sword, and so that was pretty amazing. But hands down, being the Disney guy that I am, nothing comes close to Captain Jack Sparrow. You always hear actors talk about how the costume is such a big, the wardrobe is such a big part of their character and helps bring them to life. It was, and I totally get it, getting into all of that, the hair, the makeup, the wardrobe, the sword, everything, the wrist wrap. This is the wrist wrap I use in the films. And that it all helped so much. And of course, Johnny was incredibly informative in how, it's so funny because you think he's this kind of laid back guy that is just kind of going with the flow, but his comics are constantly turning, and he's always thinking about the character and what is this character doing in this moment and why is this character doing it. And so all of that it all fits into everything that helps, create that. And so yeah, Pirates is one of my favorite rides as a kid. And to be the pirate, all those years later, if you had told me, a young me, that I was going to someday be that, I would have fainted. So it was,
it's cool. We heard the theme song walking over here. We're like, we just got ahead of that. All right. So then, how about weapons of choice? Because with a lot of these characters, you've gotten to use a ton of different types of weapons. Is there a specific weapon? This is cosplay right here. So is there anything that you really?
Yeah, I mean, like probably everyone in this room, for Halloween, I was sort of, for me, it was my go-to costume was ninja costume, because it was easy. You had black pajamas, and you had the shirt, you put on your head, and I always, for me, the staff was always very, it was the first weapon I went to because it was very accessible. You run, not just a mop and stick and you got a staff. When I got into martial arts, I sort of gravitated to the staff. But as I got into television and film work, a lot of the characters that I was doubling all had swords. And so I really, even though I already had some sword experience, I really fell in love with the sword as an extension of my body, which is what all weapons should be. They're on some level or another an extension. And so I became fascinated with that world and how many different styles there were, and how you can little nuances here and there can change things on screen and for cinema. So and again, coming full circle to the Captain Jack Sparrow thing, like that sword work was some of my favorite I've ever done in my entire career. It was pretty iconic. Yeah.
And it came across on the screen, and it looked amazing. So, being all of us are actually martial artists, we all have a background in Kung Fu, which is
yes,
awesome.
Yes. We actually met in 1980s, and Chris and I was a Kung Fu student at my father's school, and so we have a lot of connection there, and we are all martial artists. And we also both worked on Mortal Kombat.
Yeah?
So that was fun.
We didn't fight each other though.
No, we should have. Maybe we'll do it now.
Should we recreate that now? Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to show you some action moves with some popular cosplay weapons. They're by our cosplay performers. These are not professional cosplayers like you guys are, okay? And we kind of brought them together from all over the country. But this is the part where you can feel free to scream, shout. If you see a character that you like, go for them. And they've done it in the spirit of cosplay for you guys. All right. So, please welcome the Wallong Kung Fu Demo Team. Blue Spirit. That's not easy to do with the gear, just so you know, to go full speed that way. Take it from experience.
Yes, please be patient with us because actually there was no rehearsal. We just threw that together from all parts of the country, and it's just for fun, just to kind of entertain you. So hopefully you enjoyed it.
Yeah. So I hope you guys have been thinking about any questions, but right now, actually, keep thinking about that because it is time for you all to learn those moves. So I'm going to give it up to Mimi and Christopher to do their thing.
All right, so we're going to start off actually, we're both pretty loud, so I think we're going to take it to the floor so we can really get hands-on. I'm a Kung Fu teacher, so sitting behind this and trying to teach is not very natural for me. So I've got a couple of my guys that's going to come out and help, but we're just going to do an instructional, and then again, like you said, there'll be a Q&A after, so please stick around for that.
Flores, also known as Flores.
Also known as Who's Spirit or Dr. Mom. Okay, so in Kung Fu, the first thing we learn are our stances, so that's our footwork, where we have to be really grounded and rooted. And while I don't expect cosplayers to have to like really get into all the tradition part of it, what's important though is that if you are a little bit more authentic, it's just going to add a lot to your character and a lot of depth to the photos as well. So for us, the stances are like the ABCs. So you know those basics, you'll be able to string together sentences, etc. Right? So the first stance we do here is called a horse stance. It's like you're standing on a horse. You don't have to go like all the way down low, especially if you know you're not really as limber, so you maybe want to swerve, or you just don't like in a position. You can sit up a little higher. Basically, it's just like a wide squat. And there's different variations on these types of stances. So you can kind of take a lean into it, like you can have a shield. And we're going to show you this with weapons. Where we'll all kind of come together. But for now, we're just going to go over basic before we go stance. And then the second stance is called like a heel stance or a leaning stance. Also in yoga, it's like a warrior pose. Very nice. What's important about this one, I don't know if you can see it, but basically you don't want to have your feet in line. Like you see this with the line right here. If your feet are on the line, then you just really will follow a little easily, and that's not including. And also, it's dimensionally for your photo, if you take this way, so if you guys are camera, right, you know, it just looks a lot better for that depth of field, so you have a little more dimension to your picture. Okay, and then our next pose we're going to do, oh, I'm sorry, there's a variation on this one as well. So you bend the back knee, and then you go up on the ball of the back foot. This is actually kind of variation on that. And then it adds even more character and a little bit more depth to the pose. And again, we're going to have weapons and add weapons to that in a second. Alright, and then we have a cat stance. So, for those of you who are in costume, then maybe you're a little bit more restricted if you can't splay out into a nice long stance and you want to keep it kind of more contained. So you can do a cat stance, which is basically doing most of the distribution on the back leg, and you're going to bend that knee, and the front is nice and light. I actually like it to cat, right? And so it's nice and light, but it still is a little bit better than just kind of standing there, you know, with your weapon. Just standing there. It's a little bit cooler, that's a fun. And actually the stance is go really, really low, but again, you don't have to do that, especially if you just perform, but I mean, that's if you're feeling really, that you want to practice at home, and you want to just maybe tell your friend, right? 1, 2, 3, snap the photo, you can do a golden chicken, which is on one leg, and then balance for this, okay? And the important part about this is that your knee and your shin is walking with the going area. So that's kind of important, yeah. So that's the next stance. So our final stance is a little bit more advanced. So if you're feeling adventurous or like you really want to go, all right, I haven't seen any cosplayers, you know, hold this yet. We call it the lady horse stance, but it's not just for ladies, it's for everyone. And so you're actually going to start off with your feet forward. If you're a camera, we're going to take our left leg, we're going to face it that way. We're going to take a really wide step over across, and your toes are going to face you. And then you're going to bend the knees. And this one again, you don't have to be too low, or you can go as low as you can go. And then you go and you add hand movements and add a lot of dimension. You see how like the body's twisted and turned. It just makes it look a lot more interesting. And yes, your toes are not all some weapons. So James is going to join us over here. With our
Also known as Obi-Wan.
yeah, and we've got Christopher here, and we're going to start off Japanese style. And I will let.
Thank you very much. Hey guys, so obviously there's 1,000 different swords and styles, but I'm going to show you today. But pretty much a kendo style, which is a Japanese style, and it's great for situations like this because it's such a great foundation. It's very quick, basic sword. This is a shorter katana sword, a wakizashi, and yeah, so we'll just dive right in. So our very first stance in our sword or on guard is chudan. So chudan is very balanced, a little bit weight on the back, not so much in the front, almost like a tap stance in the Chinese style. And our swords up at 45-degree angle. This is a very general and very popular on guard chudan. From there, we just drop the point the sword down to the floor. This is gedan. From there, we step forward to jodan. It's a nice, powerful leaning stance. And like you said, never really contact with it, always weight distribution, always balance. Sword back behind us, very powerful. Again, then we're going to step back into one. It's basically a balanced front leg, back leg. We're not leaning on one or the other. It's inside the hands. Sword is down. Again, we're just getting to see sword back here, not laying out your right knee off the side here. And then we're going to step back into kasumi. This is a very popular one. Nice lean stance. Again, very strong. Back leg, sword pointing out the way, possibly towards the opponent. Not right up towards my face, not too far out. Just here. And then we're just going to step forward into hasso. This is another very popular one. Also, more on that back heel, or we back into more of a cat stance. But again, very balanced, always very control. And that's hasso. So those are basically those two sort of translate into a lot of different double-handed, single-edged swords. You can apply those to a number of different weapons. That's a pretty general concept there. And then, of course, let's see, I guess we'll go into everyone knows this one. This is Captain Jack Sparrow's hanger, which is a form of cutlass. It's a little bit longer than a cutlass. And basically, we're talking about some don'ts with this sword because really Jack only has two on guard positions. Jack has his, what we call the wobble. And Johnny says that Captain Jack Sparrow is never fully sober, so that's what for the swing. But it's really just the sword is up. A lot of times you see the blade in, and that's more of a dagger style, and that's a bit no. So Jack is always here, and his on guard blade is always facing out, on his back. That classic sort of position that Jack does. And if he's been a little more conversational, less threatening, the sword is just down. So if you want to really look authentic as Jack, those are really your two positions. And of course, when Jack's walking, his sword can come out a little bit, but we never want to be threatening anyone of this nature. That's one of the dagger style. Another thing we definitely don't want to do is, what Jason's doing right here, we don't want to be leaning on the sword back here. We're in Pirates of the Pacific. We started out day one, and they said if you were caught leaning on your sword, it was $5. We went to a big pot at the end of the show. Someone became a little more money in their pocket. But yeah, the weapon you want to treat it with respect. And again, it's an extension of your body. It's your form of defense, and you don't want to have your sword in the ground because it'll go in the blade. You definitely sharpen the blade. And then another no-no with Jack's sword, we don't want to have the. Maybe you see this in stuff in the film as maybe a comedic, but you would never use that as a downward platform with Jack's sword. So that's pretty good. So your Jack Sparrow poses. So the lightsaber has a lot of really unique properties. It's interesting because you treat it almost like a rapier, which is a double-edged sword, but it has two hands. As a rapier has one, this is a double-handed weapon, and it really is a classification all on its own. And as Mimi was talking about, a lot of times you'll see poses here or the pose, again, almost like that Kasumi pose, which is really close to the face, but you don't want to lightsaber that close to the face. But also not just for posing, but if you think about a stage combat or a film combat sense, if your lightsaber is here and another lightsaber hits that and pushes into your body, it goes your shoulder. So again, the lightsaber has those properties of rapier, and there's that fantastic classic shot of Mark Hamill's Luke Skywalker in Empire, and he's basically in Chudan when he first gets the lightsaber. So that's a great concept of the lightsaber. And again, it's a longer weapon, and so there's nice beat stances. Again, sword out, nice, strong strikes, you know, across or up, but yeah, never too close, resting on it, and obviously. Now, big no. And lastly, let's see what we have here. This I borrowed this from my neighbor's picket fence. I had to make a broadsword at the last minute. So this is your classic medieval broadsword, or actually just called a sword. It's similar to an army sword. Army swords are usually one handle, this is obviously two-handled. And again, much like a lightsaber, it obviously has a blade on both sides, and you never want to have, you don't want to have this sword resting on you or too close to your face on those on-guard positions. Again, it's a heavier sword. It's for big cuts, big slashes. Unless you're a larger character like Mountain or someone from Game of Thrones, you wouldn't really see a lot of thrust. It's definitely more for those hack and slash. And again, all of your blocks are very big, very long movements, because when the weight is behind the sword, you're really striking through your opponent. And again, even with flowering movements and even with lightsabers, unlike some of the Chinese weaponry, where you can have the sword actually touching your body on all your flowers if you were to do them, which are just the sword is always going for the body. And that's pretty much those really quick.
And very similar to that sword is the Mulan sword, which is the best sword of all. Not biased at all or anything. But so the Mulan sword, which actually is a double-edged sword, it's a game or jim. If you are using it's just like this one where it's double-edged, so you wouldn't want to touch it this way or this way. You don't want to be like this. And honestly, I think the character that I was playing earlier, Mulan, has her sword on her shoulder in the box, and they didn't consult me on that. I would have told them that would have pretty much left this really scar. So yeah, you want to be here. So if you do have a sword, you're like, what do I do? If I can't stand like this, I can't stand like this, how do I do? The proper way to hold like more of a Chinese sword is actually to have your hand on the hilt, and then your back of your forearm will be against the flat side of the blade. So you can be this way, you can't be this way, but you can be this way, and you can stand with it here. This is actually the traditional way of holding the sword. And if you're like, all right, you guys, stances, I don't remember any of that. If you're all like not having it, you can still just stand here, like in a nice, good postured stance with the sword at the back, and then just like look really confident, like you know what you're doing, and you'll be fine. So pretty much for the double-edged sword, though, it's the same concept as the lightsaber, and then the sword. So you just want to make sure that that blade edge is away from you, so no poses where you're like this. Whereas the broadsword, you can pose with it on your arm, so you're blocking. Yep, because if we were doing combat, this side is actually dull. So I keep saying, Western sword, this guy right here built the sword for me that I held in that picture, and it's like 20 pounds, and I'm like, really? You'd have to make it so heavy, so yeah. So with that is the dull side, and so this has like a lot of circular blocks around the body, and it should be very close in, it can touch you, whereas this one should not. So even flowering, the difference would be like if you were to flower, like that actually does make contact, whereas this one, you can't make contact if you're going around the body, right? So there's differences. And the same with the lightsaber, you don't want to be here with the lightsaber. Don't worry, these are cosplay weapons. We're not sacrificing our bodies to show you the wrong way of doing it. Alright, and we'll wrap up one last kind of cool thing, right? As you noticed up here, we had a fun lightsaber battle. These guys, again, this is all in fun. But if you want to do like posing with a friend, you can do a pose where you're both in the shot together. So if you wanted to do a little like here, I can do this, or you can come up, that. Now, if you want to do something where you're like, no, we have weapons, we should be battling. You're big on the nose. So what's the worst one?
Okay, nails on chalkboard, or swords on chalkboard. When we see people posing with the swords in the middle, if one of the swords goes away, what happens? There's nothing there. So in stage combat, exactly. Film combat, stage combat, you're always going for a target. So even if you're posing, that's what's going to set you apart, as opposed to just having those swords in the middle at a cross, which is just kind of a little lazy and not really there. So if you were to strike me, I actually have to block. And if I were to strike her, she actually has to block. So that lets add that level of authenticity.
If I don't block, lightsabers for the throat, not good. And another piece of camera. Yeah, totally agree with that. So like if he's attacking and not blocking, you also for your photos. Because as a cosplayer, right? You don't want to have a photo where your sword or that mask that you bought, made. So you want to make sure that you're positioning yourself and you can see. So that's why I like to kind of do a high pose, or kind of make sure I step away. So you just want to make sure you're conscious of that and get the photographer because they'll tell you these things too, like so those are really important things to remember. There's so much more to it, obviously, but these are just some tips and tricks to kind of make you really feel a lot more authentic with your weaponry. We did have one more thing, which is the long weapons that I wanted to show you. Because some people I saw walking around with staffs, and some people were walking around with spears or arrows. In Chinese martial arts, we have kind of like a broadsword style, and that we didn't bring home our weapons in here. But for the staff, remember we saw those kung fu stances earlier, and actually, put my sword back here, so I'll do some kung fu stances with that. Well, I'll do some kung fu stances with the long weapon. But basically, with the long weapon, yes, you can stand with it like you're walking stick, but I think we can get more creative after that. Now that you guys have been in this panel, your swords or staffs or lightsabers, etc., etc. It was just too long to put all the weaponry at the end of the title. SDCC was like, yeah, that's too long. So let's go with sword. Alright, so one of the things, what's the first dance we learned? Horse dance! Yeah, those are your horse dances. They're really simple, but even this definitely looks better than I'm just like holding my walking stick, right? This is better. You can also just look really fancy where he'll turn the stop and get a little dimension, right? It looks just so much cooler. And then if you wanted to do like a hill stand, you do the same exact move like a hill stand, where you're striking, or for camera, that way, or you can strike it a little bit at camera, and you get more dimension. If you have a spear, this is a really nice one to do because you've got your spears in. You can also lean back into it, so whether you are like a leaning stance, over here, or even in the side stance, or you can even block. So if you were to block, it's my student, so he's used to me attacking. So if you were to block, you can do defensively. So you don't always have to be attacking, you can do something defensive, and that was kind of really different. Every other cosplay photo is actually really different, right? When they separate themselves. So one of the cool things that we saw when we did the cat, it just does look a little bit better, right? So like the cat, or the golden chicken, and did earlier, right? We did these different poses. Let's do this, right? The horse stance one more time, right? So the horse stance, we have different dimensions of that, and then our leaning stance, then goes up there. And then lady is the last one, right? So lady stance, you can do it slow, or you can do it higher, whichever way, but it does look a little more interesting than this. Yes, I hope anyway. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit.
So let me ask you a quick question actually before we go to the next section. Is you've been doing a lot of poses with this double-edged game. I don't know, double-edged sword. I don't know if you noticed there's a lot of this with the 2 fingers. So maybe you can explain real quickly. That's what you're doing because that's that specific weapon.
Yes.
But if there's another sword, what else could you be doing with your hand? If it's a one arm, if you don't have 2 hands on there.
I got one too right here. So yeah, so this is because it's for the straight double-edged sword, and that's a traditional kind of Mulan sword. It's a good time.
So yeah.
Yeah, so at the end, you remember the fan? Yeah, that was totally my idea. I'm so bad though. I was rushing ahead of the stuff. I had a fan to show you guys the moves. But with the fan, and then I disarmed the enemy, and then I struck the pose and one with this. I want you to know, I did not do this. I did this because this is the traditional Chinese way of holding the hand. But this is one of your little sassy thing, and be like, no. So it's actually this. It's like a symbol that goes like Phoenix. And so this is a traditional hand movement, but in Mulan she did this, but Marina is a genius, so I will just say whatever he decided, I'm sure it's for the best. So with the broadsword, your hand is going to be fingers together, thumb here, okay? And that'll be for here, that'll be for blocking over your head also, so it'll be kind of open. And if you have like a short weapon, or something like that, then you can do stuff where you have your hand in a fist, or you have your hand blocking over the head, or opposite and open hand. So there's just so many variations. But at the end of the day, you are all the stars of your own cosplay. Just have fun and just be in the spirit of cosplay. Enjoy it. I mean, yes, it's the wrong way if you're cutting your arm off, but if that's what you want to do, that's cool too. no way am I disparaging any people when I put their arms out with their swords. I just thought I'd let you know that that's what you're doing. But I have complete love and respect for all cosplayers. I love that you take that character and make it your own. I especially love when I see like cross stuff. There's two different characters in one. I love the creativity, its expression. I'm a martial artist, and for me that's my art. And so obviously you guys have your art as well, and I totally appreciate and respect that. So thank you all so much. I think we're going to let you ask some questions now. Yes?
Absolutely. So I hope you guys are thinking about some things. Let's do a quick here's a great finale right here.
So we already talked about this, which is the hands closed, and you can be northern or southern, it doesn't matter. Here, and then obviously you make a good fist, is close to your hands, and that thumb must go around your fingers. Fingers like this, no, alright? Like this, no, right here. Okay, this is very important. So you can do this way or this way. For us, I think it's northern or southern, and then you do. And that is a kung fu bow.
So that is a kung fu bow. Yeah, so I hope that you guys have been thinking about some questions for Mimi and Christopher. If you don't have any questions, I'm going to start off with a question because I know them both pretty well, these two. And is anyone here a fan of the movie The Princess Bride? We cannot watch the movie with these two because they just start quoting the entire movie nonstop. They're just like, I need to watch this movie. So my first question is, who would you be? Would you be the Man in Black, or would you be Inigo Montoya? And who would win? Who are you?
No consequence.
I must.
Gave me some disappointment. Alright, we're not going to go on. Obviously, I would be the Man in Black, and we know how it ended there, right?
So I did want to open up this.
Alright.
This is going to, I guess that's my
We're getting sidetracked. Your questions.
Yeah, is we care about your questions. And I saw a lot of really cool, different type of weapons of you that we didn't show here. Does anybody have a question we can answer for you guys? Yes. Oh, that's awesome. So you know what? That's actually like a club. Like, so you want to grab? You want to show that? So
is that your question, or you're just getting our attention? Okay.
Fred Flintstone.
Yeah. You want to do it, or actually, I see the Oscar to do.
Yeah, go for it, Oscar.
So basically, I'll talk you through this. Like this, actually, we have a kung fu weapon called the flute, which basically looks like a lead pipe. That could definitely work. So we do a lot of attack moves with the blunt end of it. And again, we want to get into a nice stance, any stance, and do something cool with that. Golden chicken's really cool with a short weapon as well. If you feel really good about your knees, you can do the kneeling horse stance. But yeah, those are also pretty cool moves you can do with the primitive, so like flip it around, so that's always cool. Yeah, that's very effective, very, very effective. I won't say I've used it before, but always go for the knees or the, So thank you for that. I know we had a question over here as well.
And so, the hospital routine, and so this and that, this kind of doctors on the
Yes, of course. So the question was, he feels he's a little bit older and his flexibility is waning and he wants to stay in shape, get back into it. He wants to know if there's a cutoff age for martial arts and also how he can keep his flexibility up. Is that correct? Yeah. So I will start off with my father, Grandmaster Chan, is about 81. If you follow me on Instagram, you will see him doing a series of kicks while waiting for an elevator because he was bored, and he's in amazing shape. And if he were here, the panel would be about him because he's actually a rock star. And I will shamelessly plug my film, Hui Chan Kung Fu Pioneer, which is an award-winning documentary. And it's on Amazon Prime, and it's actually an amazing immigrant story. And I will briefly say that that is really an important thing right now, to know that immigrants, what they bring to this country is important. And my father was one of the first to start teaching non-Asians Kung Fu in the East Coast, and it is an incredible, inspiring story. Even if you don't love Kung Fu, it's really about the American dream, and he is truly, a manifestation of that with hard work and determination, and what this country can offer if it is in the right direction. So, yes, he's an inspiration, and he would tell you absolutely at any age you can start Kung Fu, because for us, Kung Fu means hard work. And so if you're willing to work at it, take your time with it. Tai Chi is a great place to start, and that can kind of progress you back into your other martial art that's a little bit more aerobic, if that's what you're interested in. But I mean, for us, we're all fitness people up here. Breathing is important. I know you guys think you're breathing, but most of you right now aren't actually really breathing, right? So that is something that's super important that we don't take note of, and I would say that would be my advice. Start with breathing, and then finding a really good teacher, so that's my advice. Oh, we have a mic.
I just want to add, you're the person that you are now. If you start moving in a certain direction and start doing stuff, that you can change who you are now. Like, your body can change now, you can change when you're 90, you can change when you're 100. So all you gotta do is get started, and
Can you repeat the name of the film again?
Yes, Pui Chan, Kung Fu Pioneer, P-U-I-C-H-A-N. If you just go on Amazon and type that in, or Kung Fu Pioneer, it will come up. It's not that long, and I promise you it is actually a good film. I'm not saying that because I directed it. I did actually win at every film festival I went to. I'm really proud of the work, but also his story inspires me every day. And like I said, it's just the message of it all. Yes?
I'm going to try not to screw this up. It's really nervous for me to answer this. But when you guys try to do something for Star Wars, because in the storylines of how they actually start off with their lightsabers, they say the crystals themselves, they have like a connection with their own Padawans in order to learn and actually feel through the Force, as well as to be bonded. But then when the Darth Vader comics came out, it's more like they're more alive and they're more connected to you in different ways. Do you see that in like in other sorry, here I go again. Do you find like different movements in those beliefs, or is it just like, well, it would have to be basically like that?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like I was talking about earlier, I mean, you're bringing these characters to life, but you're also adding your own thumbprint on there. And so, it's all about listening to your body, your instincts, what you want to bring to the character. And so, we definitely all have favorite moves that we like to do and different sequences and things like that. So whether it's a lightsaber or it's, a sword of any kind, or, any character from any other realm, again, it's your thumbprint, what you want to put on there. And so if you draw from that inspiration from, a certain, a number of films or a number of publications or whatever, however you're ingesting that information, and you want to apply that, there's no rules, there's no right or wrong. But again, listen to, your physical, how you are expressing yourself physically through the character, and that will come out naturally, and if something feels awkward, it usually looks awkward. like any athlete will tell you, whether you're a gymnast or if you're a track athlete or whether, if something doesn't feel right, it probably doesn't look right, and your body, ultimately you want to be, your body's trying to be as efficient as it can with all physical movement, and so you'll kind of weed out what doesn't work and what does, and so when it comes to character stuff, you'll apply that sort of philosophy to that and hopefully look authentic and feel authentic. Hopefully that answers your question.
When you did the pose with the two fingers, saying how that was traditional, it made me wonder, for either of you, is there any character that you played that you did the sequencing for, that they had one move or one pose you really wish they'd included that they didn't, and you just really wish it had been in there?
No, I have to do all the ones I want to do. There's nothing Cousin Jack's girl can do.
He's done so much.
But you know what? Maybe the question is something that you've seen as well.
So also, by the way, we're restricted by studio of all the film stuff we're allowed to show in our reels. So you go up to his IMDb, you will see him flipping, twisting on fire, jumping off, ships exploding, all sorts of crazy, like, this guy's done so many films where, like you just said, he really got to do it all. Mortal Kombat alone, you did so much wire work and air rams, and he just did so much stuff. So, but from a Kung Fu standpoint, I do know what you mean by the question, because in Mulan, I swear that I did my like signature kick, which is a butterfly kick, and it's funny because I haven't seen the film in so long. I swore in my head that it was in the movie, and then went back to watch it because I was just at the Kauai Film Festival, and I was talking about it because I went, let me refresh on the film. I'm like, wow, that move wasn't in there, and I really thought it was, so it's funny that you say that. But I mean, we've been fortunate, for me too, the people I've worked with have been really good about allowing us to kind of take, not choreograph it, but say, give input on movements. So.
Become friends with the editor. Because they have final say over what stays and what goes, and if your signature move goes, they call it that shot.
Hi, thank you for having this panel. I'm terrible at posing, so this is very helpful. I just had a question on posing with oversized weapons. I know you have a photo with a Buster sword. I have a 5 foot tall, like double Marquis sword that's about 3 or 4 pounds, so it's kind of heavy.
Yes.
Like, what are some things that you can do with those types of weapons?
Start working out with the weights.
One word, styrofoam.
Styrofoam. Well, like I did with the Buster sword, it was really heavy, so I'd have to be familiar with exactly which sword you're because I was able to leverage my weight. But is it most of the weight in the handle, or is it? So if it's mostly in the handle, kind of what I did with the Mulan, and I think one of those pictures, if you could just kind of position it where you're keeping your shoulders and elbows down, that's going to give you more power. Yeah, and also let your elbows up. If you're trying to hold the sword like this, you're losing a lot of power. So you keep everything down, and let's just start to kind of move out from there. If you can at least hold it upright because it's nice and strong, then work the stance, girl. That's where you use the stance, and it's less about the sword being all crazy. Showcase the sword so that they can see it in the photo, and then work on one of those stances we talked about. I think that would definitely bring some life to the character.
Yeah, start with all your poses. Start basic and start grounded, and then build the levels from there. Because again, it's just like gymnastics, it's a building block process. So if you're trying to jump ahead, if you're trying to run before you crawl, you might be a little bit off balance. You might not be in the right physical posture for the pose. Start with those basic stances and then go from there. That's why when I did the 6 basic poses, those are all very foundational, and then you can kind of bleed into a lot of different styles, a lot of different other weapons. Oh, there goes my weapon. So start basic and build from there. And again, you'll feel that progression as it goes along, and chances are it'll feel more comfortable as well.
So we got a question back there, and then I know this gentleman who raised his hand here.
Getting our warning, so you have to come follow our parade.
What can you do when you have a character who has a weapon and a character who doesn't?
For a two-person interaction? Yeah, so if Chris had a weapon and I didn't. What might you do? I don't know, what might we do? So, first of all, I would recommend we would do more of a character first voice camera so that it's not me pretending I'm actually walking in with my sword. So we would do something cool like that. But if you really wanted to do it, if you were attacking overhead, I would probably, whichever way, I'd probably come here and
Almost like she beat me to it.
yeah, almost like you're working something blocks the camera with there, kind of here, or even here, or something like that. So you don't want to be trying to actually block the weapon. You want to be catching, so be stabbed, for instance, stab forward. I would here where I would imagine him and do something interesting there. So yeah, I would definitely first work on individual, and if you want to do interaction, never actually pretend like you can block the sword with your hand.
And you'll notice that they both were moving with intention, which is what Christopher was talking about earlier, is finding that, trying to look for a target.
I think we have time for one more.
So we're
getting the notice.
I think it was this gentleman here who had a question.
I don't know, his is it his? Okay.
I was just going to ask, what do you do with, say, 2 swords or 2 katanas?
Well, we kind of did something similar with the 2 swords. What we don't want to do, remember guys, is basically where you're just doing the cross in the middle. You want to be able to do
don't
something.
Cross
yeah, don't cross.
If earlier to answer this question, they were talking about moving with intention.
But it's like what we said earlier with the intention. You want to make sure you're here versus like being out over here.
Great question. Sorry about that.
All right, double weapon. That's of course a bit of a color. Okay, so pretty much you want to always have it's a double sword like this, or double sword like this. The blades are out, right? You can even do something even in a cat or in a chicken, or if it's a broadsword, you can touch with this one. And have something like this. If they're two katanas,
Well, I was going to say, if I have a single weapon, you have a double weapon, you can still do, so I can still, strike, for my, maybe you do one single block, you do double block.
Yep.
So yeah, it's all, it just opens up that many possibilities.
Yeah. So you can also do one block and one strike. Last question, we get one more. Okay, one more. So yeah, one block.
Oh, I get it.
For each of you, what is a movie or TV series that you would like to work on and be a part of?
Well, I'm going to have to say that it would have been nice if they had called me for the live-action Mulan. So I'm hoping for the best. It looks beautiful. I'm excited about it. So
I think they're finishing up Frozen too, so I may be able to get you.
How about you, Christopher?
Oh gosh, I'd love to do Pirate 6, but it's just only because there's so much fun to me. I mean, I totally get it. I understand now why, actors and on both sides of the camera, actors and fans fall in love with these characters, and it's fun to play. So, yeah, I mean, I don't always agree with the writing on a lot of the films that come out of the studio system, but as a performer, if they asked me, I would say yes to New York.
Awesome.
So I won't default to the Mulan question. I will actually say it would have been nice to be a part of the John Wick series for me.
Yeah, that would have been nice to be there. Okay, so listen, we gotta go. But I want to say thank you guys again, all for coming. Let's hear it again from Amy Chan. This is Christopher Leps. There's all of them that I've seen. You can also follow Amy Chan at C3 Chan and all the social media platforms, and that'll lead you to all the cool wild stuff. So cosplayers, ready your swords. All right, remember to come through Val, everybody. Fist in the hand.